I think I love the sort of surprise elements of it. The thing about electronic music is it doesn't end, it doesn't stop, it just keeps going. There's no limit with electronic sound. I think that's why I got so interested in it, because you never know what you're going to get. Well, you do to a point, but there's just no more interesting feeling than just firing up some equipment or some music software and just seeing what happens, just seeing what comes out of you. That sort of sporadicness I really like. My name is Tom Reynolds and I produce music under the name of Mollusk King, which became a two-man project as of last year with somebody else called Jacob Beale as well, good old friend of mine, joined the project.
So my name's Jacob and I'm a musician, part-time I suppose, and I work with Tom on the project Mollusk King.
I've been making music since I was about 15 years old, but I started getting into making music on the computers when I was 16. So a while, yeah, a long time. That is 15 years.
Working with Tom is it's so interesting because I think it's like this interesting kind of one-upmanship that we have, whereby like Tom shows me a track and I'm like, oh, that's an amazing song, and then I'm like, I have to show Tom a better track than that, and it's like this interesting kind of healthy kind of competition that we have to kind of just, let's just be better, let's just make ourselves better, and let's just explore things that make us better. So yeah, it's very natural and it's very dynamic and it's very fun.
We are in the Undergrowth, which is our home studio here in Southampton, Hampshire, lovely little Hampshire. And first of all, we have sort of the brains of the room. This is the master control desk, I suppose. Everything will be configured to run through here. Over here we have a rack of different synthesizers. This is a reissue of an old, very vintage synth, the ARP 2600. Here we have the ones below it. These are actual vintage pieces of equipment. We have the Control Synthesis Deep Bass 9. This was used by some of the old people might remember some of the PlayStation 1 games. This synth was used quite a lot on that kind of stuff, like the demo discs and all that. I think one of the more interesting and elaborate pieces of equipment we have in here is this thing. As you can see, it's gig ready. This is a modular synthesizer that's been built into a suitcase. This is a particularly interesting module here, and a lot of this stuff, it's all made by one guy, my good friend Shane Williams of Exile, who's been circuit bending and producing synthesizer units for so long. But he made this for me for a very, very cheap price. And as you can see, it's very much his own, like these are made by him. It's very much his own handiwork. He's got his own graphics and aesthetic and his own style. I think it's really wicked that he's actually managed to sort of take off with that, and his name is now synonymous with industrial music, because I see a lot of people with his stuff. We go back a very long ways, so we're going to go meet him sometime soon, and he has some new equipment for me. He has a new module for the modular, he says, and also a much better version of that old drum machine he gave me. So yeah, we're gonna go check out his home setup and see how he's getting on. I haven't seen him pre-pandemic, sort of before the world went to shit, so it'll be really good to see him again and catch up with him. Hello, mate. Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, the weather's really brutal. See you soon. Yeah, we'll talk about everything when we get there. It'll be good. Cool, see you soon, thank you. So we're gonna go see what Shane's been up to the last couple of years, see what kind of equipment he's been building, see how he's been getting on. And as you can see, the weather is brutal in lovely Portland. I lost my hat. Hello. Wow, it's looking more and more like a spaceship here every time. Okay, so Shane, how long have you been making music for?
20, 25 years.
25
like
years.
Sort of going back to being in bands, trying to play Guns N' Roses covers and things like that when I was a teenager. So yeah, 20-something years.
I hear you're making a record. You've been making a record at the moment?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, same as, yeah.
It might come out next year if it happens.
Yeah.
You know, again,
yeah,
it's
same
just,
with mine.
So just something I'm sort of doing purely for my own enjoyment.
Yeah.
If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's not a big deal. You know, the world's not going to miss it, I suppose. But yeah, it'd be cool if it does.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. I mean, because since I've known you, neither of us have really put out that many records. We've mostly just done it almost out of just pure enjoyment.
Yeah, if you're lucky, if you sort of arrive at the place you want to be, suddenly you get that eureka moment, and you're like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. And that's kind of like, it's just what I do. It really. I sit there one day and think, oh, I wonder if I can get something to do what I want to do right now, here, which I don't have, And then just think about what I can do, my limitations, what I'm good at, what I'm not so good at, and put all of that together and see what happens.
Just pushing forward.
Sometimes it ends up in the bin, and other times it ends up out there.
It's this record I told you that I'm finishing up. I think I've shown you some bits of it. I can't remember, but either way, it's something I started 12 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
And then I just on and off. It's like I pursued game audio, so the personal stuff took a real back seat, and then as of when I saw you last, actually, I just really started kickstarting sessions off to do that, because I was in a very terrible place and I needed escapism. I needed to catalogue these thoughts and these events in some kind of art form, and I was already really burnt out on the game stuff as well. Game development can really burn you out. We spent a New Year's Eve in one of those songs. We were just exploding cans of food on a stove for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. But the sound it made, I wish I sampled that. That's one to sample. It's like when you just put a can on, I think just like a water heater stove for so long until it just bursts. And I don't know why we were doing that, but I think we were just 15 and bored. When you're a teenager and there's nothing to do, it's like when you're just gonna hang around outside. And I know I sure as hell did a lot of just hanging around outside as a teenager because there was nothing to do.
Well, we used to like big fires.
Fires, drinking alcohol. We've come to the ghost tunnels, a bit of a childhood haunt for both of us. Just come to reminisce and walk around and make a bit of racket. Check out the giant reverb inside. Maybe that'll end up as sound effects or on my record, I don't know, but we just love everything's a resource, when it comes to experimental music. Bash rocks around or do shit like that. You can easily make a beat out throwing a stone in a tunnel if you really wanted to. So we're back here again in the studio. Been working on the record all week. Set myself the deadline to finish it today, because 12 years is a very long time to work on something on and off. It's good to see Shane again after so long, and his equipment is all over this record, and indeed all over the Lisa soundtrack too. I'm going to send it to a bunch of labels and see which one wants to release it. Not exactly sure what format yet, but hopefully vinyl. We'll see. And it's finally done after God knows how long, so it's good to put it to sleep. And the only thing left to do is to finish the collage artwork as well, and then we're done.
Before we leave and wrap this up, I just wanted to ask you one last question. What has this whole process taught you as a person?
It's absolutely taught me growth. I couldn't have produced this kind of record when I first started. It's absolutely taught me about pursuing something until you feel like you have the skills to actually create what you envision. Sometimes it can take a very, very long time. Sometimes you will abandon an idea and then come back to it later. It's absolutely a stepping stone of learning. From this point onwards, I feel a lot stronger as an artist. I feel a lot quicker as a producer. I would encourage anybody to do the same. If an idea isn't ready, then it's not ready. If you don't have the capabilities to produce what it is you envision, then you'll probably go through a period of growth as well to push something out the door.